welcome back to Tabletop Thoughts. Today we will be painting the Ironmoor Troll, which was the winner of the May 2026 print, paint, and play. I couldn't find the footage of me highlighting it or doing the skin, although I did use this ink to do it. Now we're going to start working on some of his clothes and furs and stuff like that. So we are going to use this ruddy brown, and we'll drop a few drops of that into the fidget popper, and then we'll start painting up this troll. Now that we have his fur done, I am going to come in with this sand golem speed paint, and we are going to go through and paint the ropes and belts and different kind of items like that on our model. And while I'm painting him up, now would be a good time for you to go down into the comments section and leave your suggestions of what you would like me to print out next month in resin. I will take these suggestions and I will pick out 3 of the miniatures. I will print them in resin, and then I will show them off and we can vote for them for next month. With the sand golem done, I am going to come in with this slaughter red speed paint. I'll put some of that into my fidget popper, and we are going to come in and add that to some of the cloth that is hanging off of the model. This will give us a little bit of color, because up to this point he's pretty much just green and brown, so it'll get a splash of color to make it a little more interesting. Also, if you could, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. It really helps small channels like this get the video out to other people to see, and hopefully it'll help us grow this channel. Now that we have his red cloth colored, I'm going to take this High Lord blue and I'm going to put that into my fidget popper, and I am going to paint his shirt with that color, so that should give us some contrast. So the blue will be close to the green, so those kind of look like they go together, and then the red should stand out, bringing us somewhere to draw our eye to. that the blue's done, I'm going to come in with this Vallejo Game Air silver paint. I like this airbrush paint because it's already pretty thin, so you don't have to try to thin it out any. And we will go through and apply this to all of the metal parts on the Mini. Alright, now that the silver is painted, I'm going to come in with this bone white. It's also a Vallejo Game Air paint. We'll put some of this into our fidget popper, and we are going to paint the horns on his helmet, his teeth, and there are some bones hanging on his belt as a decoration. After we paint all of the bone, we are going to let him sit for a while and dry. That way we can come back in with a speed paint and paint over that. So while we wait, let's catch a quick commercial.
In the ruins of a forgotten temple, something watches from the shadows. Across the forest, ancient powers gather within the druid circle. Mix and match terrain and miniatures for limitless stories. Explore detailed terrain and creatures, all ready for your next game night. Bring your tabletop world to life. Shop DM David's Prince on Etsy today.
Alright, now that we let our model dry overnight, we're going to come in with this Bony Matter speed paint. We'll put that into our fidget popper, and then we are going to go over all of the items that we painted with the bone white airbrush paint. While that Bony Matter is drying, I'm going to come in with this Princess Pink speed paint, and we are going to use that just to paint the inside of his mouth, mostly his tongue, just to give it a little bit of color so it stands out. We are going to come in with this War Boss Green paint by Citadel. It's just a standard miniature paint, but we are just going to apply a little bit to our brush, and we are going to use it as highlights onto some of the raised surfaces. So anything that would catch light, or we want to have some differential between the skin and what light would hit. So we'll do it to like his knuckles that are on top. We'll apply some to his face and anywhere where we think we need a little bit of highlighting. Alright, now that his skin has got some highlights, I'm going to come in with some Xandri Dust miniature paint. This is from Citadel. I'm going to almost use it as a dry brush with this makeup brush here. And we are going to apply this on the fur, because I want to bring out some of the texture on the fur that's around like his arms and all over his back and his pants. With that highlighted, I'm going to come in with my Null oil. It's a black wash shade, and we are going to apply that to all of his metal parts. That way it will bring out some details and textures and, you know, kind of dull it down a bit, because that silver is kind of shiny. But mostly what it'll do is get into all the crevices and cracks and generate some shadow to make it look a little more 3D. Now that we've let that dry for an hour or so to make sure it is completely dry, I'm going to come in with this brilliant red color. It is some of the original paint I got when I first started painting miniatures. I don't even remember the brand, that label's so faded. And I am just going to put a tiny bit of that in my fidget popper, and I am going to use that as the coloring for his eyes. I normally make anything that's like a monster and that have red eyes so it stands out. While his eyes are drying, I am going to come in with this brown India ink. We'll put some of that in our fidget popper, and we are going to use that to color the ground on the base. I used some glue and craft sand to lay that down to give it some texture, and now I'm just going to come in and paint that brown. Eventually we're going to cover that up, but that way if there's spots where it's kind of missed, it won't just be a black base underneath it, it'll have some brown, so it'll look more like natural ground. After that India ink has dried, I am going to take some just Elmer's glue. I did put a little bit of water in there to help it be a little runnier, and I am just going to apply this to the entire base. Once that is done, we are going to apply some flocking to it to give it more of a grass look. put the troll into this plastic tub, and it's going to be hard to see, but I am going to apply this cheap foam flocking. I believe I got it off Temu. In a little bit here I'll show you the label for it. It's hard, I mean there's a lot of Chinese characters on it, so it is just some cheap flocking that I got online, but it works great for models like this. Like, yeah, you can see there's the name of it. Alright, we'll put our troll here on the table and we'll give him an hour or so to dry. Once he's dried, I will come back and I'll take some IPA alcohol that I have in a little spray bottle, and we are going to apply that to the flocking. That will allow this next step to spread out a little better. I'm going to take a small paper cup. I'm going to add some of that Elmer's glue to it, and then I'm going to add water to thin it out some. And then we are going to take an old paintbrush and use that to paint over the top of the flocking, and that should seal it all in so it doesn't fall out later. Once this IPA sat overnight and dried, I applied just a drop of super glue and added that grass tuft, and that is it. This is what the final model looks like. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, check out the next video right here. It's packed with more great content. And as always, keep on gaming.